Hey everyone, welcome to Tactical Tuesday. Tonight's topic is going to be earthquakes. First, I'm going to pull back. Had a glitch here, obviously, because it's being broadcast on Camppatton Family Compound, not GrayManPrepping. As I got distracted with a bunch of stuff going on today, and I was setting this up fast at the last minute. I hit the wrong button. I hit Camppatton Family Compound instead of GrayManPrepping, and so. But I will take this afterwards. After we're all done, I will download it and upload it back over on a GrayMan, so it'll be over there too for anyone who reviewed over there. What changed everything up today is a bunch of emails I got. And let's see if I can put this up over on the side here. I want to bring it up over. Okay, so this is, I didn't delete all the emails. I've been deleting emails all day long on some of these. But this is what, so USGS, 5.8 off the coast of Oregon, 4.3, 4.2, 4.4, 4.3, 4.2. And there's a bunch of them I deleted already. And so let me switch up here to the other one here. And go back to this one and switch over here. So this is the USGS site. And all right, so this one here, if it's red, it was within the last hour. So that was a 4.2, the last 4.2 there, but we got a 4.5, 5.5, 5.8, another 5.5, 5.8. So yeah, it's rock and rolling. And where is this exactly? Let me back it out here just a little bit so you can see. So California, Oregon, Washington. This is the San Andreas up to this point right here where these two orange and yellow are. And then the Cascadia subduction zone goes on up here. This other fault off the side, I can't remember what exactly that fault is called. But that's one that turns a little bit differently in the way it pushes in and stuff. But, it impacts on the Cascadia subduction zone. And I have not seen this many quakes in this area along this fault line here in 10 years. When they had wound up having a 6.3, I think they had up in there about 10 years ago. So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on right now up there. Either it's a whole lot of stress being relieved, or it's a big shift from down below pushing up. As it's pushing and pushing and pushing, we're getting all these little quakes as it's pushing. And I'm hoping it's not that, because if that goes, and if that's pushing up and it goes snap and breaks like that, you could have some tsunamis along the coastline here. 2 feet.
That looks like a good coastline for it to happen at, though. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It would go over here and hit Portland. Might wash out Portland and clean it up. But we want that to happen after Laura and Chris move out of there. But yeah. So that's what's going on right now, and that's what made me change everything up today. And from what I was going to do, I'm going to postpone the talking about medications and stuff to an open spot in January. So, but before we move on any farther, I just want to go back here and say hi to everybody. So we got first in was Uncle Al at Die Bullfrog 79, followed by CB at Hugo Homestead, then Julie Evans, Ryan the Gamer, Creative Redundancy from north of the border, and Super Scout Slurkin. Walt Rogers says hi. Shady Hill Homestead says hi, or hey. Suburban Hillbillies here. Gardner Josh is here. Ragnarok Prepping is here. Doug Kraken is reporting for duty. And Jay is here. How to Gardens here. Keith Kronk is here. And everybody's talking. Garden State Gardener is here. Oh, if you guys want to see some funny videos that'll make you almost pee your pants, maybe it will make you pee your pants. Go over and look at the ones he's doing for Courtney at White Family Farm for the Poop Troop. Some of those are just absolutely hilarious. Purple T-Bear is here. Steve is here doing stuff still. Yeah, he's trying to get ready for that earthquake that's going to slide California into the water. No, just kidding. Let's see. Everyone's talking. Jay Purple back with the Kraken. Everybody's talking here. The garden. Jay Ragnarok. Everyone sells. Yeah, I got a lot of everyone's out there talking. I like it. Wow. Yeah, everyone's talking back and forth. I love it. Making friends and influencing people. All right. So, yeah, so earthquakes. This is one of the things. This is, because this was not expected. Usually there's with some of the scientific community, they've been able to pinpoint saying, all right, in this section on the globe, there's going to
be a freeze.
There's going to be a freeze. And in this section over here, there's going to be, some sort of seismic activity, and it's going to be deep. And suspicious observers has been fairly right, all year round. They did not even have any clue on it. They said nothing about this over the last several days. And generally they say, all right, we got some, the gravitational forces and cosmic waves and all this other stuff they talk about. And they're usually right. Well, there was nothing said about this area up here. So, so this has totally caught him off guard. But, so yellow is out. Oh, all right. Red is within the last hour. Orange is within the last 24 hours. Yellow is beyond that 24 out to 7 days. So, things have been kind of shaking here along the San Andreas. Let's see what some of these are. A 2.7, yeah, that's minor. 3.1. Got a bunch of 4s down here in the Gulf of Baja here. 5.1 there. Yeah, so stuff has been shaking around. And earlier this week, they predicted some of these 5-pointers down here. This is the only area down here that they were suspicious observers was talking about there being any quakes. Was in this area from right down in here. And sure enough, the fault lines there acted earlier this week. So, I mean, the one was yesterday. Actually, the one was today. This morning, it's 5.6 was this morning. So this is the area they were watching, and this area out here as well. But the up here caught them off guard.
Looks like it just updated with another new one too, Gil.
Yeah, it did. A 4.2. Oh, down here we have a 2.7 down off the coast here. Let me zoom back in and see which one that. Yeah, because now there's 4 here. It was only 3. So there's tension, stress is building up down here as well. So, and the way these go, you have the plate, the continental plate here. Then you have the Pacific plate out here, and this little mini plate in here is weird when it's kind of twisting, going up and subducting. So it's a really weird pattern that it's doing. And so the Pacific plate is going underneath both the continental plate and this other one. So basically, the Pacific plate is coming under. This one here is lifting up, twisting, going under the continental plate as well. And as it's twisting, rotating, so it's doing funky stuff. Yeah, it's going to take millions of years for it to really do anything significant, but every now and then it just goes and moves a little bit. That little bit can be devastating when you consider a planetary scale. So, yeah, earthquakes going around. Hawaii's been active a bunch. But, yeah, we have 6-pointers, across the board here lately. And a mess of 5s. I mean, there are a lot of 5s today. Yeah, all these, 5s and stuff. But, usually it's not that active. Another 5 there. Another 5.6 there. Yeah, so we're shaking and rocking and rolling around the world. And so one of the things, though, so everyone should be aware of that you never can tell when an earthquake is going to happen. Texas, let's look down at Texas. What's going on here? So Texas had some stuff going on this week. They had a little 2-pointer today down by White City. Oklahoma has another one today, 2-point, little ones though. But the problem is you start getting a lot of little ones. They start picking up. All right, here on California, Nevada border near Vegas, 3.1, 3.0, just across the Nevada border. Probably get a lot up in here near the all the geysers and the hot springs and stuff. Which brings me back to the real area called the geysers. The geysers here usually have, 4 or 5 a day. And we got none today. This one was, where is it? Was on the 5th. This one was back on November 30th. This area is unusually quiet. I mean, people there are probably freaking out. Okay, it's building up pressure. What's it going to do? Because literally, I've around here. I've looked up here. It'll be like 100 quakes up here. So you never can tell, what, but, San Leandro, 2.6, not much of one there. But, Idaho has one over at Stanley. A 3-pointer just inside Idaho, and then a couple of tours up there. Washington has a 3. Let's look east here. Farthest one east showing on here, Arkansas 2.6, 2.8 in Arkansas, Oklahoma 2.7. Yeah, so up here in Kansas 2.5. Yeah, so this is just little rumblers, any of the 2s and stuff. But to me, I look at it and I have a spreadsheet on my other computer that I track anything that's 6.0 or greater. And when I'm doing that, I'm also looking to see what's happening around it. And this is unusual, folks. So, yeah. Okay. CR put a point in here. Let me put it up here. Don't stand in the doorway. They used to tell us always to stand in the doorway, but there's a problem standing in the doorway during an earthquake. What's that door going to try to do? That doors gone because the building's shaking. That doors want to swing and bat around. If you're in the doorway there and you're bracing yourself, 2 things are going to happen. One, your fingers are going to get pinched by the door in the door jamb by it closing on either side. And the other thing is either it's going to smack you in the face or smack you in the back of the head, depending on which way you're standing. If there's no door in the door frame, then it's a little more. It's a rigid place to be at. But if there's a door there, don't stand in the doorway. What's near Fresno? Okay. Oh, that's a quarry blast. See, they can tell what it is. This one here says quarry blast, but this is the closest one to Fresno, and that's a 3.1. And so there's Lake Mead. So, and Las Vegas. So, Fresno would be somewhere down in here. So, stick a wedge in the door. Yeah, exactly, Keith. If you live in quote earthquake country, which really can be anywhere, but if you're like in California, where you get a lot of earthquakes, and Oklahoma and some of the other places, Alaska, if you have a door open, you may want to have one of those either have a rubber wedge for it to keep the door open. But if you don't have a wedge for it, if earthquakes happen, you're not going to be running around looking for a wedge. Probably if you're in your bedroom, the safest place to be is roll off next to the bed and pull the mattress over you. Yeah. Kaylin says the door frame could also twist, but if it's causing enough stress to cause a door frame to twist because of all the studs in the wall around the door, it's twisting the whole house pretty bad. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and remove that comment. Okay. Yeah. See, I've lived through the 1971 Silmar earthquake, which was a 6. They keep on changing it. Historically, they keep on lowering it for some reason. When it first came out, it was a 7.1 in 1971. Then about a month later, they dropped it to a 6.9. Then 2 years later, they dropped it to a 6.8 as they reviewed the data. But and then I also was there for Loma Prieta, and there's been a bunch of them I've been through. San Francisco Bay Area. I mean, we have a 3-pointer up there probably every 2 months. So. Yeah, Kathy, that's what we're talking about up here. That's these right up here. The let me go here. Let me go largest magnitude first. Just show the ones here. Yeah, so they had a 5, 4, 9, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4.0, 4.0, 3, 9, 3, 5. That's just what's showing on the map right here. That's what I love about the USGS. If you Google earthquakes last 7 days, it'll take you to the site. You can change the settings here. This is set for magnitude 2.5 earthquakes past week. So that's what I'm getting there. Yeah, that like I said, that is an extreme cluster of that high magnitude. And this is all today. Every one of these is today. The red one is within the last hour. So let me go ahead and take that off that. And so, if you know, in the last week, worldwide, 6.2 at Easter Island, 6.0 Indonesia, 6.0 South Sandwich Island region. So, yeah, we're rocking pretty good, folks. But the next thing to consider is, okay, so we're having earthquakes. What do I do? Well, probably is to survey your house. Well, they have this great stuff called museum putty. If you have expensive vases and stuff up on cupboards and shelves and stuff, you put a little putty on that, you stick it down, and it's not going to shake and fall over. It's designed specifically for that. Pictures, you can got the special hangers so they can't bounce off the hooks, and they have the little Velcro dots that you put on the back of it to keep the bottom against the wall so that it doesn't bang against the wall. Probably though the most important thing to do is have some sort of wrench, and I'm going to see if I can pull one of these up here right here real quick. So I can show you. Utility wrench. There we go. All right, images. Come on, give me images. There it goes. All right, so there's a bunch of different types of utility wrenches, but probably the ones that if I can find the ones that look best for it. Dang, it's not. Here we go. This here is probably one of your better ones because it has the one for the gas and it has the one for the water meter. But there's let's try add in here NCY emergency wrench. Yeah, so there's these are really neat. You can do a lot of, you can turn off your gas and stuff with them. There's the simple little flat ones like this that you can pick up at Harbor Freight. But so you can turn off your gas and stuff like that. If there's an earthquake and your house shakes really bad, where your refrigerator moves out from the wall and your stove moves out from the wall, first thing you want to do after it stops is make sure all your family members are safe. Then start sniffing around for a gas leak. Because sometimes it could be the gas pipes under the house that'll crack and break. Walk around the house outside, sniffing at all the vents, check everything. If everything seems safe, don't turn off the gas, but don't dismiss anything. Don't think, okay, we're done, it's not going to leak, because there'll be aftershocks, and sometimes the aftershock can just rattle something just an extra more to make a pipe, break, or the thread thing to fluctuate so it leaks. I'm sorry. I'm just trying. All my training stuff is trying to flood in my mind right now, trying to come out, and I'm getting tongue tied here. So, Bruce, jump in anytime you want to help. Talk fire stuff.
I was just gonna say those pipe wrenches. Mm-hmm. In fire service, we actually would carry a foldable one like that, because you see that little hook in, like the hawk bill on the back of it. Yeah. You can actually use that to tighten down fire hoses. You can also use that to take off the caps on fire hydrants. So we would carry those, and depending on if you're left or right-handed, we have it in our thigh pocket on our pants, so that if we had to turn on a hydrant, open it, or turn off a gas line, we had that right with us.
Yeah. There's a lot of different styles, but I like these that have that big wide thing, because you can do stuff with it. You can also use it to, if the door is jammed, you can put it against the inside knob and kind of try to help pull the door a little bit as well. Not as good as the one begins with an H. The big bar the firemen carry.
Halligan bar.
My son actually bought me a generic type Halligan bar for Christmas a couple years ago.
Those things aren't cheap, and they're usually about 40 to 50 pounds if it's a real one.
This thing's heavy, and it's a pry bar, but it's got all sorts of weird things on it, and bends at the top and turns, and so. But there's a lot of this one, right? This one there it is. That's not the one. There was one I saw here, and I got to go back to it. I can find it here again. It didn't have this one here. So, and of course, it's got that stupid thing here up on the end here, blocking the view.
That's a glass breaker.
Yeah, it's a glass breaker. So, if the door twists on a bedroom or something, there's some kids in there, and you can't get that door open, and even the windows twisted a little bit, and you need to get the kids out, break the glass, have a heavy duty blanket, tarp, so layers of stuff you can put over it after you get all the glass out, so any glass still in the frame that won't cut anybody, and you lay that over so you can get the kids out. But look at this, $15 or $16, at emergencykits.com, Amazon, $16.75. This one here is Amazon for less than $10. And then the one thing here, depending on where you live, your water may be down deep enough where you can't reach it. You may want to have one of these T-wrenches for your water valve anyway, because if your water line breaks and they're spraying water in the house, and say like up here, we don't have a valve outside the house like we do in California where you can shut water off. I got to go out to the meter box and have a nice long thing to put down in there to turn off the water valve. And water valves are a quarter turn. And usually the top of the valve, it's kind of flat, looks like, it's kind of flat like this, is in line with the water pipe, means it's on. You turn it the opposite way, it means it's off. Same thing with the gas. Where's that other picture? Back to the gas here. Oh, what happened to my gas? Oh, let me go back. See how when it's up and down, it's in line with the gas. That means it's on. When it's across ways perpendicular to it, it's means it's off. Now, some areas now in California and other areas are requiring that a special gas shut earthquake valve gets put on. So let's put here gas EAR earthquake valve. Boom, it came up that fast. So they have these different valves here that go on it. That basically there's a little ball in there, and when it shakes, that ball falls out of its. There's a round trough around the top on the inside, and that ball is in there, and it knocks it out of there, and it goes down. And it plugs up the hole, so gas can't go through. And so it's got button things or levers you got to pull to lift it off. There's different types here that work that way. This one here, it has a reset button there that pushes in, it flips the ball back up on top. There's different ones. They make them install them on natural gas lines. I'm not sure if they make them on the propane, put them on the propane tanks, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to have it on a big propane tank, one of those, 500 or 1,000 gallon tanks for your house. If you get an earthquake, once in a blue moon, that could be the thing that keeps you from having leak problems inside the house. But yeah, see, they make them put them on all the new stuff. So let's check on the side chat here. Yeah, Kaylin. Yeah, Kaylin's in an apartment. So, she said earlier that the only gas is in where the big water heater is for the that all the apartments share, and it's probably a big, huge tankless one, so it feeds all the time. And where the dryers are for the washing, the laundry rooms. So, that would be after an earthquake, that might be some place for her to go with. I mean, she probably can't get to where the water heater is, but she can go and sniff around in the utility rooms to see if any of those, the dryers or whatever bounced out a little bit and yank that flexible tubing off. Tibor needs your help. Bruce.
Who what?
Tibor put in there. And I said, Bruce, need your help.
What you need, Tibor? I was out there saying hi to new people coming in. Missed it. Yeah, Kraken. It's always best to have one of those heavy duty flexible hoses about anywhere from 12 to 24 inches long coming off the tank. So it has a little bit of flex and give there. Also where it goes into the house as well. Our Wildman Survival is here. Daniel's family homestead has come in. Who else did I miss here? Of course, Tibor came in. Go up and take a quick look. I'm not sure if Diggs was here before. But hi, Diggs. So welcome, everybody. So in getting ready for earthquakes, one of the things you got to figure out is if you get small tremblers now and then, notice what the stuff in your house does and write it down, because that's what you're going to have to work on later. If you notice that pictures are all crooked, you want to secure those pictures, because if just a light little 3-pointer, 3.5 makes those move, when you get hit with a 4 or 5 or a 6, those may come off the wall. My sister had a house down in San Ramon, California. That's in the East Bay, San Francisco East Bay. She had a grand piano. During Loma Prieta, that grand piano chased her across the living room. Yeah, it went about 16 feet. And it rolled. It rolled, and the way the thing was bouncing, it just kind of
and away it went moving. So things move. I've seen refrigerators walk out from where they're in their little slot there, walk out and break the ice maker tube and spray water everywhere. I've seen refrigerators just fall straight over flat. I've seen filing cabinets fall over. Let's see if I can find something here. Let's see this if I can find this. If I can find this picture, it's great. USGS Roanoke. Let's see if I can get this to come up with the right spelling here. This was I thought was an eye opener if I can get it up to come up here. It's the USGS office down in Roanoke Park, and that's on the peninsula, San Francisco Bay Area Peninsula. Please show me the image. Come on, show that image of it. Oh, dang it, it's not going to do it. I don't have it here. They're not bringing it up. They're hiding it. Well, I got pictures of Loma Prieta. There are all the things that happened. Well, maybe it'll pop up here in one of the other ones here. Oh, look at this one. That there is 1/2 inch steel by 2 inch. And it just went. Okay, I want to see more anyways. I should bring it in here. But their office interior of their office was practically destroyed. There was not an upright file cabinet in there. Everything went everywhere in their office. And this is the USGS, guys, in Earthquake Central. And they still had all their crap falling around on the floor. I know I got the pictures on my old computer with the stuff from when I worked at DHS. I have all those cool pictures. I even have some earthquake videos. Actually, see if I can bring one of those up. I know it was on the web here for a while. You'll love this one if I can bring it up. So let me see what it'll. I'm going to have to go over to videos. No, they're not going to show it. But there was one. They got these rooms and stuff, and they showed a house in a minor, what they call a minor earthquake. I think it was like a 5.0. And you had filing cabinets, you had the dining room table, you had a refrigerator, freezer, stove, chandeliers, and the room just started shaking. And you could see it shaking, start bouncing. And it was computer programmed to simulate an actual earthquake. And all of a sudden, the file cabinet drawers, the top drawer just shot out, and the others came out enough that the whole thing fell over. The refrigerator started walking across the room. The chandelier just started bouncing, and all of a sudden it started swinging and bouncing and swinging all over the place. We thought for sure the chandelier was going to come down watching the video. But yeah, things are just going every which way. So if you want to do some fun research, try to find some of the earthquake simulation videos that they have on the web for showing how the let me try add something to see if I can narrow it down here. No, they're not showing that one. They don't like having, they didn't like having that one getting leaked out. But yeah, it was it has some good information on it there. There's a lot of things you can do to prepare ahead of time. And a lot of it has to do with make sure you have a good first aid kit, because one of the biggest injuries in earthquakes is glass cuts. Hey, Saltwater Born. Oh, and that was that one. It just flew by. What's that? That's the Autistic Prepper one. Hey, how you doing? Abby's here. Beautiful, not beautiful. Bountiful Harvest Abby. Idaho Garden Girls here. Hey, welcome. So one of the things to consider that what's interesting is when an earthquake occurs at night and everybody's in their bed. And I want everybody in the science chat to be honest here with this. Above the head of your bed, on the wall, above your pillows, do you have any pictures hanging on the wall up there? I didn't think Bruce would.
I don't want a headache.
Yeah, exactly. Think if you have little pictures, whatever wedding pictures or something special, I've just about all houses I've been in have some sort of picture up on the wall above the head of the bed. And so during earthquakes, a lot of times those pictures, if it's a 5-pointer or greater, especially start hitting the 6s, a lot of times will bounce off the wall. Now, the next thing is your bed situated so there is a window on one side or the other of the bed? Within, say, 3 feet of the bed or 2 feet, of the bed there, you get up and there's the wall and there's a window right there. If that's the case for either one of those, what you need to do is have a gallon-sized Ziploc bag with a pair of slippers in it or deck shoes in it. Those are those slip-on canvas shoes, the rubber soles, in it, zipped up, and have a piece of yarn or string stapled to it, tied to it, however, secured to it, and to the bottom of the bed. Right down next to it, so you can reach over after the earthquake, grab that bag, yank it off, and put those on. Because if you have slippers next to the bed and say the window broke or the picture bounced off the wall or a lamp fell off and broke, Murphy's Law, where are some of those shards of sharp objects going to wind up? In your slippers. So you have these another pair of slippers or a pair of deck shoes sealed in a plastic bag. They're not going to have glass in them. Okay, on the U.S. sidebar of earthquakes, is the number on the right the depth of the? Okay, all right. So I'm going to go back to answer this question here. All right, so I got to hit the button to bring it up. So like on this one here, the depth is 10 kilometers. So this tells you how deep it is over here on the side. So the ones up here, where is it? Coast of Oregon, 10 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 10 kilometers deep. So actually, let me go ahead and take this back to this one. There we go. Zoom in and do this so it's map only. And then take that off. So we can take a look. All these are about the same depth, 10 kilometers deep, spreading out in this area. So this is a flat area out there. It's not going deeper. So this is, you're looking at like what 100 kilometers or 60 miles across for this area. So you got basically a flat 60-mile shelf there. So yeah, so all these are at the same depth. All right. Yeah. Oh, the other thing too, in that bag where those new shoes are, you know what you need to keep in there? A flashlight, because most likely the power is going to be out. So that way, you have light. You can go around and you can see what you're doing there if it happens at night. I'm just catching up on something to see if anybody had a good question there. Not worse than glass. The Legos will just hurt like a mother, but they won't cut your foot wide open. Oh, Kaylin, comment about that, about the bag. In one of the classes I was teaching, the person had that problem. Their cat was, tearing in their bag and stuff because they had heard about it before. They wound up getting one of those large bank bags where the lock doesn't work anymore, but the zipper still works. And the cat couldn't claw through that heavy duty bag, that bank bag. Okay. All right, Diggs. Yeah, we know you got to get out there and drive in truck. So, have a good night, Diggs. Okay, update. Just got another earthquake up there. I don't know if you saw that update just flashed up there. Let's see here. Newest first. Yeah, so it was a 4.2. Just occurred. While we're talking, it just popped up. Okay, back to the chat here. CR had a question. Where'd it go? It probably already slid up. Slip-on boots like winter boots. Yeah, but you got to be able to keep them so nothing can get inside of them. Glass and anything. Hey, Jay, you may have been trying to make it funny, but that's probably not a bad idea for kids, especially. That way you see where the kids are when the power's out. Because kids are going to take off and go someplace, you don't want them to go. Yeah. The Northridge earthquake in Southern California was real bad. I wasn't there for that one, fortunately. But Loma Prieta was, especially if you were over on the peninsula between San Jose and San Francisco, and then down towards Santa Cruz. There's only one word for that one. That was butt ugly. Yeah, and they do have some stuff now that alert once they detected the P wave of the shock of the earthquake. You have the P wave, and I forget the other one, but the P wave will set off sensors first, and it travels faster. And they're testing a system out. I know they're testing it in Japan, California, and I'm not sure if it's Washington. They were testing it there too, and they have all the seismic sensors and stuff out. They're tapping into the USGS ones too. So as soon as they start registering anything, it starts going. Okay, there's one here. And the computer goes, there's one here. It's going in this direction here, and it starts sending warnings out for everyone ahead of that. The shock wave. Oh, yes, Jay. Leather gloves. You need to have a pair of leather gloves because if you've got broken glass everywhere, you're trying to move stuff around. If you need to get out of the house, those nice heavy duty leather gloves will protect your hands. Was that fold the top of the boots with a clip? Good idea, CR. Those big binder clips, for office paper and stuff, the jumbo ones would work great for that. All right, so we touched on a little bit about the tools for okay, it's not there. The tools for shutting off the gas and the water and stuff. What happens if the gas coming to your house is not disrupted, and it's your gas between your stove is bounced out and your stove is leaking gas, and it catches on fire, so you got a flame shooting out the back of your stove there. Anybody have a good fire extinguisher in their kitchen? So, Bruce, What would your suggestion be that the stove has come out, broke the gas line, the flexible gas line, and the gas coming out has ignited on the gas line. So you got like a torch going.
Go outside and turn the gas off at the main, because anything you try and do there, if you turn that valve that's on the other side of the wall and it's rusty and you catch a spark on it, you've got a handmade flamethrower.
Yeah.
So I would just go out to the main on the side of the house, shut it down, because that's what the fire department's going to do if they show up. They would go out there, shut the gas off the main for the house immediately, because that shuts the fire down. It no longer has fuel.
Yeah. Because sometimes people, here we go. Here's some fun stuff for you, Bruce. There's Northridge, or is it? No.
Looks like Northridge.
That's not Oregon. That was Northridge.
Yeah.
I remember that one. That one was Northridge. That's Northridge. I think this is yeah, it says Northridge on it. That was Northridge there. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Northridge had a lot of gas fires. The Sylmar quake, for some reason, didn't have a lot of gas fires, but the Northridge had a lot of gas fires. And, the ones in the streets were, were really, freaking people out, because they had water coming out of the ground, because it severed the utility lines. So you had sewer line severed, storm drain severed, water line severed, gas line severed, and phone line, any buried phone lines were severed. And so, yeah, you had, flames shooting up. But, and if you, see a flame coming out of the ground with, from a broken gas line, and it's already on fire, and it's out in your front yard, don't try to put it out.
No, because then you're going to have gas build up everywhere because it's not getting burned off.
Exactly. You want to just go ahead and let it burn. If it's not catching the house on fire, and if it's out in the street, just let it burn. It's taking care of a gas explosion problem from happening. So, yeah, that's one thing to consider on that. Okay. Propane flash arresters. I'm having a brain fart here. Do you know what he's talking about, Bruce?
I'm not sure what he'd be talking about with what we're talking about. It wouldn't have anything to do with like a broken line or anything. Propane flash arrestor wouldn't do anything that I know of.
Okay. So, Kraken, if you want to elaborate a little bit more so we can get a better handle on that. Yeah, and that's one of the things too. They do very interesting things depending on what the fault lines. The San Francisco Bay Area. Fortunately, I don't think anybody in here is from that area other than my wife down there right now. Most of the faults are running north and south, and everything east of the San Andreas is a sliding one. There are two. All the ones that go north and south, there are two that go cross. Those are the ones that are scary, because all of a sudden you get a cross one going on, and everyone is prepared for stuff going north and south, and they stack stuff accordingly. When it goes the other way, they lose a lot of stuff. Hey, Liberty Garden. But the problem is the San Andreas itself is a subduction, is a north and south and a subduction zone. Quake, because that's on the border of the Pacific Plate and the Continental Plate, and so it slides north and south, and then the Pacific Plate is trying to go under the Continental Plate, which, contrary to what everybody says, California's going to fall off in the ocean. No, actually, what's going to happen is if a big one goes under subduction, it's going to lift the shoreline up. Everything on the east side of that is going to lift up. And Yeah, and everything else on the east, everything on the west side is going to go crunch up against the east side, and the east side is going to lift up, and you're going to have a bigger mountain, coastal mountain range. So, but for fun in January on Thursday, we got one. Well, what happens if California falls off the ocean into the ocean? What do you do now? So that's going to be a topic coming up, just in case it, for some reason, it spreads the other way. Near the tank, outside, if outside is burning, as you keeps the flames from being sucked back in. Oh, so it's like a check valve. Okay. Yeah, you have those one-way check valves that you add onto the propane tanks. This, the 5 gallon ones on up. That'd be a good thing to have. Okay, East Coast quake. I'm sorry, I laugh every time. When New York had that one, what about 5-6 years ago? I think it was a 3.6, and everybody was freaking out. Everybody was shutting down, and we're like, that's like a big semi truck driving down our street in California, in a residential street, And in California, I was at the California Coordination Center at the time, and it was like, guys, what are you doing? I was on the phone with somebody. Go, it's an earthquake. And I was talking to the guy screaming. I bring up the USGS. And he's like, dude, that's not even a 4-pointer. Relax. What do you mean relax? It's an earthquake. Yeah. So there's but earthquakes on the East Coast. All right, here's the big difference. And let me bring this down here. Let's see if I can find the map here real quick. It's FAUL. Fault lines. Okay, so this will kind of bring it up a little bit here. Lowest hazard, highest. San Francisco Bay Area. You see all these fault lines here. When Loma Prieta, which was down around about here, actually it was Monterey. So actually Loma Prieta was right here, where my thing is. When it went, the shockwave went across, hit. There's several faults that are not shown. There's one that comes off the bay down through the middle of San Jose. It hit that one and it lost energy. It hit Hayward. It lost energy. It hit Calaveras. It lost energy. It hit. This is the Green Valley. I forget what this one's called, but it started hitting these. By the time it got to Sacramento, they felt hardly nothing because every time it crossed a fault line, these aren't major faults, it weakened. And so the shockwave didn't go through all the way. It hit, and it just kind of weakens out as it goes through all the faults. East Coast, East Coast, COAS. There's your fault lines for the East Coast. You got the Madrid fault running up the Mississippi Valley, and you got one on the east side, heads over from that on the east side of the Appalachians. So there's not a lot of faults in here to disperse the energy. That's why when the New Madrid fault went back in or was it early 18s or was it the 1700s? It rang bells in Boston and Georgia, down in was it Charlotte? No, Charlotte, North Carolina. What's the one? Atlanta. It rang bells in Atlanta and in Boston because basically this is one big plate, and when it moves, the whole friggin' plate tries to move. Whereas in California, each one of those ones try to move and they lose energy as it goes along. So, so those are your major faults on the East Coast. And so you got your major, ones here, there, but California, California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and on up, there's a lot. Let's see if this one here brings up some smaller ones here. Trying to see where this is at. Florida. Okay, so yeah, you have some other ones here. There are some minor faults and stuff in here, minor ones, but look for your particular state and find out what fault. You can look on the USGS map of earthquake faults for New York. Okay, let's try New York here. All right, so here we go. Little short ones here in New York. That's right, it's not a big map, so I can't drag it around. But see, there's little short ones. The stress on most of these little short ones here really isn't put it. Because it's such a short one, it doesn't have a lot of stress built on it. Therefore, when those have earthquakes, they're not as great as longer ones. So you have the one here from Pennsylvania going up there, the Ramapo fault. That's 70 miles longer. Well, that's going to generate a lot more stress and a lot more stuff on it. So back here, so these, the Ramapo one's up there. But, so you got the East Coast fault. That's a long one. That's going to generate, that can generate more stress. Yeah. So like Daniel's family, Homestead, only experienced one earthquake, was very light. He's in East Tennessee. And that's the thing is, what happens back here on the East Coast, the one thing you got to realize on the East Coast to the West Coast. The West Coast, you have two plates that are colliding. The East Coast, let's see if I can bring one offshore here. Is that one going to do it? No, that one's not going to show it either. I froze. The East Coast is part of the continental plate, and that whole plate is shifting westward. Because in the middle of the Atlantic, and it goes up through Iceland, I forget the name of the fault that splits the Atlantic, and it's actually spreading apart as new material pushes up and it pushes apart. So it's pushing the continental United States westward. And basically, so it's colliding with the Pacific plate, which is going under, and that's how come there's so much stress and tension there on the West Coast. Hey, looking good. And so, yeah, the earthquake, the East Coast doesn't get as many earthquakes. It still gets earthquakes, but not as many. And you can check historically with your local GS office, USGS office, to see what sort of earthquakes are in your area. But yeah, I mean, just because you're in an area that has low earthquakes now does not in any reason mean that Murphy's not going to raise his ugly head and go, okay, you get a 6.5, and then I'm going to lay low here for the next 50, 60 years.
Go ahead. I'm ready for it. I lived in California. Bring it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about with some of the ones everybody else is freaking about, and it's like, that's like a truck driving down the street.
Yep.
Okay, and Jay says that happened to his great-grandfather still, too. But if you notice back here, let me go back to this here. Bring this back up. Okay, no more new ones. Here. This one here, that's a quarry blast. they pick up quarry blasts all the time. And what's really significant, there's a quarry up here by the San Francisco Bay Area that blasts. There's a quarry in Colorado that blasts. Probably every 3 weeks they blast there, and usually a big one. And they spend, a month or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever clearing up all the rock and stuff and doing their stuff. But people have reported, we had an earthquake. Oh, no, that was a quarry blast. Hey, Passamaquoddy, no problem. So, we've hit the top of the hour. So, Bruce, I know this is not really you've been in California, so as a firefighter, any suggestions for people for being earthquake preparedness?
Oh, hell. The biggest thing, when you live in earthquake country, you just know. I mean, we had wrenches. Even when I lived in apartments with my mom, we would have wrenches in our apartment that we could go and shut the gas valves off, the water valves, everything, because the property management company knew if we shut all that stuff off, they weren't going to have massive water damage. They weren't going to have fires that were going to start off and burn down the whole complex. Because as you know, in California, you live in an apartment complex. There may be 400 apartments in the complex. That's a little bit of liability on their part. So they would make sure that every apartment had a set of wrenches to turn the water, the gas off, and that we knew where those shutoffs were for our buildings. So that if something happened, we could assist them with that at least, and then you're saving your own stuff in your apartment. So
that's the point, Idaho girl. He's at least him, that property manager team wanted them to know where that stuff was at.
Yep. And then the other thing and that's kind of why I got into being prepared, was my grandparents always had tons and tons of food that they had canned and tons of bottles of water everywhere. And when I was younger, I always used to ask them, why the hell do you have all of this stuff? Because I hadn't been through a big earthquake yet. I learned the hard way when I was about 10 or 11. Something happened. I was like, oh man, we need to get to Grandma and Grandpa's. They got all the food and water.
Okay, the answer is going to be yes, Tibor. So, Tibor, if you want, bring something up, go ahead and bring it up. So, while he's typing, Arm is interviewing. I can't remember the name, but they're supposed to be a really funny person. I remember Courtney talking about that. Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern on GrayManPrepping. If I program it right into StreamYard, don't click the wrong button again. That we're doing Thursday nights. We're doing scenario-based discussions, and that scenario for Thursday night is, okay, after the economy collapses, what's your plans now? So we're talking, people say, I'm preparing for the economy collapse. I have all this gold and silver. Right. What's your plan after the economy collapses, really? So, all right. Waiting for Tibor to bring something up there. Okay. Oh. Okay, I didn't know about trash cans being, but trash bags. Some of them being, or many of them being coated with an insecticide. I think those are the
leaf bags. If you like, here in Tennessee, they sell like leaf bags from Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff to put all the leaves from the tree in, and they do coat them with an insecticide so that you don't have a new house for a colony of ants or something. They just bore into there and they do that, and then they lift it up into the trash truck and boom, now they're taking ants all over the city, But that's the issue. if you buy something for a different use and now you're trying to use it for something else, you got to make sure you know what you bought. If you bought like leaf bags that are going to be picked up by your city because of the leaves that fall off the trees every year and you're helping the city clean everything up, well, those are probably going to have the insecticide on them. If you go and buy just a regular contractor's black 50-gallon bag, you're not going to have that on it. So check it
And I
out,
don't know
because
why any
the ones here
survival
don't.
site would be telling people to store water in a plastic bag.
That doesn't make sense anyway. It was probably what that lady back during the gas crunch earlier in the year. Remember, she was trying to put gasoline in a shopping bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them type of people.
Yeah. So any survival site that tells you, oh, use the
Now there's a
trash
Marine
bags.
answer. Lick it first.
Yeah.
That's got to be a Marine. The Kraken.
Yeah. Any
Oh,
type of any site that would tell you to store water in a garbage bag, even if it's a brand new one. No, I wouldn't trust that site for any other, no telling how much misinformation they're giving out. Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to store non-potable water, save all your milk cartons, your plastic jugs, your juice jugs, all those type of containers, save those for your non-potable water. If you want to have potable water, get containers that are made for potable water. Because you don't want to wind up getting dysentery or something else or some other sort of food poisoning from recycling a milk jug or something else jug and putting water in there that you're going to drink.
And the reason you don't want to do that with the milk jugs especially is because everybody thinks that it's a plastic jug. Why can't I put water in there? Biggest problem with that is they are not a solid plastic jug. They are porous. There is milk that will be in these little small microfractures within the plastic, and then that will spoil. And the next thing you know, you've got some kind of bacterial growth in your water.
Kraken says, "How dare you? I'm a bubblehead. Crayons are awful."
Well, I knew he had to be related to the Marines in some way, shape, or fashion. Department of the Navy is what the Marine Corps is. So.
Yeah. What did my nephew say? He was in the Navy. He goes, "Oh yeah, the United States Marine Corps, the best branch of the United States Navy."
Yeah. If you talk to Steve, he'll tell you it's the men's department of the U.S. Navy.
Hey, our cabin in the woods. Yeah, so that's what. So I just wanted to, because this unprecedented spike of earthquakes today. There's no telling what may happen. It may be nothing at all. It just may be blowing off steam, like the jiggler or a weight valve on a pressure cooker, just going and just blowing off the steam, or it could be the prelude to something bigger. So.
Kaylin said Kraken's been out of the sea too long. That was a pretty good one. Hey, Tibor, I understand what you're saying, but all the trash bags that I've bought, the big contractors bags here in Tennessee, they would have to have it listed if there was an insecticide or any type of herbicide or anything that was on the bags. And it would have to be on the box that's sold. It would have to be clearly marked on there. And the ones that I buy don't have anything like that. That's why I've never worried about it. But I wouldn't store water in there either, just because I wouldn't do that. But
yeah. So everybody out here, so Tibor has a request that we get the word out. So on your community tabs, whatever else, just put a little blip on your community tabs on your Facebook thing. Hey, warning! Anybody telling you to store water in plastic, the black plastic trash bags, don't. It's not a good idea. It's not going to store water for very long because the plastic bag is going to break down. Plus the insecticide issue.
Rebel Canners is here. She said, "Did somebody say pressure cooker?"
Yeah, I'm talking about the way things bounce and stuff. But all right, so Courtney has somebody on tomorrow night on her on her channel, Wide Family Farm. Check it out for that interview. Thursday night, we're talking about the after the economy collapses. What's your plans? What do you think you're going to do? Friday night, we're going to talk about bread machines and the way you can use bread machines to prep dough for you while you're busy doing other stuff and other things you can do with bread machines. What you can cook in them and what you can't cook in them. And then coming up this Monday on the Camppatton Family Compound Fireside Chat, we're going to talk about, hey, the weather. What's up with the weather? I mean, they were saying we were supposed to be getting 8 to 12 inches of snow this late weekend. We didn't get anything until Monday, and it was just a little, and then we got a little bit today, and it's gone. So that's what we're working on. Hey, Zombie Prepper. And so, yeah, if you can get the word out, do not store water in plastic bags. You go to pick it up, figure 8.8 pounds per gallon. You got a 40-gallon garbage bag. That's the medium size. You try 40 times 8. That's a lot of weight you're trying to move around there. So, and the bag most likely is just going to go ahead and rip on you, and you have water everywhere you don't want it. Yeah, I know, Kaylin. Hawaii got all the snow followed by a rainstorm right on top of it, which melted all the snow and flooded areas out. Yeah, exactly. I got several IBC totes for potable and non-potable water. And I have a bunch of the 55-gallon drums too, both ways. Yeah, Idaho Garden Girl. Yeah, I saw that over there on your side. Audra at Homestead in Idaho was talking about that yesterday, about the little snow they were getting. Yeah, I'm not sure how much we had, but it was it was gone by the afternoon. All righty, folks. Well, who said something there?
Jay. He said, "Can bread machines keep Wade from setting the bread on fire?" Oh my, she's infamous in her own time.
I don't think she's in here anymore. I think she got tired and left.
Yeah, I didn't see her respond to it, so I'm pretty sure she's probably not in here.
Yeah. All right, folks. So as always, everyone, make a plan. Think ahead of time. See what you need to do. Come up with a scenario and just have a family meeting on it. Talk about it. See what you can come up with. Hey, and kids are great with coming up with ideas you wouldn't think of as an adult. All right. So stay happy, stay safe, keep on adding to your preps. And I'll freeze again. And we'll see you next time around. Take care, people.
Night all.